Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, it's finally here, the Zino 2. I am so excited about this. We're going to get it out of the box real quick, and I mean really quick, and then we're going to go out in the field and we're going to go for a flight. Stand by. Hey everybody, it's Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. The Zino 2. So you already saw me pull it out of the box and show you what's in the box. I wanted the first flight to be something special. So we're out at the Snake River Canyon, and it's a fairly windy day. We've got wind gusts up to 14 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour sustained, but I do know this is a powerful drone, and so it shouldn't have any problem with that. I'm not going to do anything fancy today. I'm going to take off using the landing pad. So we'll take off and land right on the landing pad. We may try out precision landing and see, you know, just to see if that if it works any better than it did on the original Zino. From what I've seen in some other people's videos, I don't think so, but we'll probably give that a shot. But mostly we're just going to fly it around. We may do an orbit mode or something simple like that. But I don't have a full battery. I only ordered the single battery kit. And I used that battery already to do the firmware updates on the drone. So I think it's down to like 90% roughly, something like that. So we won't do any flight time tests or anything like that. We just want to get it up in the air and see how it flies. And you know, for the first flight, I wanted it to be scenic, so we'll take it out over the canyon. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I had followed Blue Skyver's advice and got a cable that I could leave plugged into the controller, because he had some problems with his controller. It didn't work out for me, so I don't know if one of these is not a data cable, maybe just a charge cable. I'm not sure. I couldn't order the ones that he had listed because he got those from Amazon in Canada. I thought these were both data cables, but evidently they're not, because I couldn't get it to connect to the drone. So I'm just going to use the cable that Hubsan provides with the drone, and we'll go from there. Let's quit messing around though. Let's get this thing up in the air. Hey guys, so I just realized I left my landing pad in the car, and it's a ways off, so I'm not going to go out and get it. I'm going to take off the ground here. It's liable to blow up a little dust, but we'll probably be okay. It's a good flat spot here, so we'll give that a shot. You know, normally I wouldn't be afraid to try a hand takeoff and a hand landing, but I'm not familiar enough with this drone yet that I want to do that. So I just want to take off from the ground. So that's what we're going to do. No landing pads, so no precision landing tests. But anyway, we'll get the thing up in the air. There we go. So we've got FPV now. I don't know if that was could have been a bad cable, or I honestly just don't know, but we've got it now, so that's all that counts. Let's switch to video mode here, and let's take a look at our settings. So I want to shoot in 4K, and normally I would shoot in 30 frames per second, but I'm going to change it to 60 because that is what everybody's looking for on this drone, and it's its claim to fame. Then white balance. There's some high clouds, but I'm going to put it on sunny day, just so we lock it into something. Boy, the wind's really come up here. And everything else I'm going to leave color on ordinary. We're good to go. I'm going to start video now. So it looks like we're started recording, and nothing left to do but take off here. So let's go ahead and do an auto takeoff on the screen. And we did blow up some dust there, kind of like we thought we would. It's windy. The drone seems pretty steady. Well, as soon as I say that, look at it kind of doing a little circle here. Let's do a yaw. Well, that's not too bad. Like I said, we've got some wind, and it's getting blown around a little. I mean, it's moving around a pretty fair amount, and of course that's what everybody's reporting with this drone. So we're getting a little bit of toilet bowl there. So I don't know if that's wind. Look, it calmed down now. It's not asking me for a calibration. I'm gonna wave my hands. I'm gonna wave my hands underneath those downward sensors. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't get much of a reaction there, but anyway, let me raise it up just a tad. Starting to settle down. Of course, the wind calmed down. So those sensors are right here at the back. Yeah, so it's not like a DJI drone. Those sensors would they would send the drone up. So I'm not sure what's going on there. That doesn't mean the optical flow isn't working. But anyway, before we use up too much battery, I think we need to do our usual reverse and up. So backwards and up right now. Wow. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm struggling here. I was trying to go straight back. And, yeah, see, we're getting some. I'm going to do a compass calibration. Look at that. So let's bring it in here. Let's let it settle down a little bit. Man, guys. Okay, you couldn't see that on camera, but that was a pretty rough landing. I mean, it was doing the circles as it came down. And I don't know if there's a setting for those sensors. But at any rate, we're going to do a compass calibration real quick. I'm going to shut off video. And we're going to manually go in and do a compass calibration. And see if that helps. And by the way, I did a horizontal calibration and a camera calibration before we came out here, but let's do a compass cal. Okay, we had a successful calibration here. I'm going to tip the camera down again, so hopefully, yeah, you can see the drone there. And gosh, let's try it. Let's try and take off again. Like I said, we do have some wind that could be affecting it, but shouldn't be that bad. So we're taking off now. Okay, put the camera back up here. So there it is. Seems to be fairly steady now. I'm going to go reverse and up. Oh, I forgot to start the video. Let's bring it back in and do that over. Yeah, it does seem to be steady now, steadier. So maybe that's all it needed was a calibration. But you know, it's funny, it didn't ask for one, and there's not a lot of metal out here. It reminds me of flying the Zino 1, I'll tell you. Okay, let's go reverse and up. And we're just in normal mode. A lot steadier now. Okie dokie. So we're kind of facing the sun. Let's take a look at the canyon here. So you can have a look at that. Let's just do a slow yaw. Drop the gimbal down a little bit. Get there. Ooh, sorry for that quick yaw. I'm kind of getting used to the controls here. So I just think we ought to go out over the canyon. What do you think? I see no reason why not. Looks like we're good and steady. Raising a little altitude at the same time. We're doing about 11 meters per second, which is way faster than the original Zino. And there's the canyon. We're about, holy cow, I'm farther out than I thought. Oops, sorry about that. I was trying to straighten it out a little bit, and that was a quick yaw there. But yeah, I mean, gosh, connection-wise, and I can tell you the FPV is crystal clear. I can tell you the original Zino wouldn't be this clear. I just can tell you that for a fact. I just flew it yesterday. So we're clipping right along at about 12 meters per second. So that's what, about 28 miles an hour, something like that. 25, something like that. So we'll go out one click. I'm not trying to set any distance range tests here, but we'll get out a kilometer. There's a kilometer. So so let's then turn around. Let's yaw it around, and we have an excellent connection. So I'm going to say those stability issues I had at first there were related to the compass, because it sure seems to be doing fine now. But I will say the wind has calmed down a little bit too. There was quite a bit of wind there. So this is kind of heading into the sun. So this is where everybody's complaining that that this drone kind of falls down. So so this is like kind of heading towards the sun. And evidently a little bit against the wind too, because look, we're not moving nearly as fast. Boy, the canyon is sure beautiful, isn't it? Let's yaw around a little bit and see if we can take a look at the side of the canyon. I'm going to drop the gimbal just a tad. That is so cool. Okay, boys, while we got the chance, I'm going to flip her into sport mode and see what happens. So we're hovering. Switch to sport mode. Full stick forward now. And yeah, I mean, it's visibly faster. I'll see if I can bring it right over the top of us here. I'm on that little strip of dirt you see there, right on the very end of it. You can see me now. Oh yeah, when you man, I'm looking at the drone, it is moving. Boy, it really hit the brakes there when I let off too, holy cow. So now, look at the gimbal though. So sport mode, I don't think you're going to get as steady of a shot. So we're going to go back into normal mode. I'm going to do the old, see if we can get that gimbal to straighten out. Well, it's not. Yeah, so putting it in sport mode definitely threw the gimbal askew there. It was doing fine in normal mode. Boy, I'll tell you, it doesn't descend very fast. Well, I've got it in, what mode do I have it in here? I might have put it in film mode. Yeah, I was in film mode, no wonder. Okay, so look at that. We got our stable. Well, I don't know, that gimbal's moving around a little bit. I definitely threw that gimbal for a, I mean, you can see the gimbal bouncing around. I'm going to bring the drone in and I'm going to take a look at the gimbal. See if we can see what we can see. So we got a breeze going here, and the drone wants to sink. I mean, that is just like the original Zino. Boy, as soon as the wind starts, it really throws the drone into a tizzy. This is just what Fuji was talking about when he was saying that, you know, it just didn't, it wasn't as stable as like the Mini, the Mavic Mini. So I'm looking at the gimbal. It seems to be operating okay. Well, you know, whatever it was, I think we've recovered. But you know, I was moving really quickly in sport mode there. Let's see, we're down to 50% battery. Heck, we're good. Man, the flight time is vastly improved on this thing, isn't it? Okay, let's get a little bit of altitude. And let's just go back over the canyon wall here. So we're in normal mode. I'm going to go full stick forward. Okay, full stick forward here again. And again, this is in normal mode. And boy, it's pretty windy out here, so I'm willing to give the drone the benefit of the doubt on moving around and stuff. It's pretty darn windy. Boy, I try not to do those quick yaws like that. I apologize. Okay, let's turn around and face the canyon wall here. And I'm gonna drop the camera here. And let's just go sideways along the wall here and see what we can see. That was me yawing there. I was fascinated by the strata and so forth on the wall here, the different layers of you know, volcanic flows that created that basalt. Okay, let's pick up some altitude. You know, I noticed I had a little bit of stickiness on the FPV there, and I can see the drone going sideways. It's really cool. So that's where I'm usually standing. So if you look right there, that's the outlook. Yeah, and then the camera, the gimbal kind of wobbled there again, and you know, if you're wondering if that was a bird that struck it or something, I have eyes on the drone. I'm telling you, it's not. Battery at 40%. Okay, well, we got some battery. Let's try one more thing here. I'm gonna turn around so you guys can get a look at where I usually film from. So right there, I'm gonna drop the camera down. That wall, that rock wall there, often that's where I camp out at. So when I first walked up here, there was a guy up there that was taking some pictures and stuff. And you know, I don't want to bother anybody with the drone. And this drone is kind of loud too, so so I just, you know, the discretion is the better part of valor, and I walked up on the hill here, and I'll back up here so that you can see where I'm at. Drone will be coming right over the top of me here. There we are, standing right there. Okay, let's bring her down and bring her in. And we are going to do an orbit while we still got battery to do it. So I've got the drone right over the top of me right now. I'm going to pick the camera up just a little. I'm sure you can hear the drone up there. And let's go into the intelligent flight modes. Let's go into orbit mode. And I'm pretty sure, oh, evidently I didn't do the GPS accuracy test. So this may work. I might have to bring the drone down a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's close enough. Let's try it. Hey, it says it's good, so we can do it. Nice. Hovering up there and it did it. So let's try this. Orbit mode. And this is, yeah, it's just the same as, so we want the current location. And I need to get some radius. So we're going to back it up. We're going to go out there a ways. And execute immediately. And we're going to put this baby in high gear. So I'm going to go the other direction, guys. I'm going to go the other way. Let's see if the drone will stop and go, and it is. Battery level's at 30%, so I wanted to get it where it goes out over the canyon here, so we'll let it go out over the canyon and come back. And we're getting plenty of flight time. I mean, we got 14 minutes of video time and all the messing around and stuff, and I didn't have a full battery to begin with. And I am staring right at the drone. And boy, we got a wind coming up here. So you can see me there. And we're down to 28% battery, 27%. So I'm not going to push it today. No point in that, you know. We're not trying to see how, you know, testing a battery or anything like that, but I thought it'd be fun to try some of this stuff and just see what it would do. Seems to be behaving itself right now. We had a few issues with the gimbal there. I don't know, you don't want to put it into sport mode. Now that's common with some drones. You know, for instance, the Paradinafi. I've got to watch the drone here because it is at a spot where the terrain is rising. No, it's fine. You know, better safe than sorry. You know, it was coming up towards a hill, so I just wanted to make sure it had plenty of room, and it does. But I lost my train of thought there. But talking about the gimbal, so yeah, a lot of like the Paradenofi, when you put it in sport mode, the gimbal will mess around. Remember the DJI Spark? I'm gonna hit stop. I don't know what that beep was. I hit something accidentally, I guess. So let's bring it back in towards us. Yeah, it's beeping. It's telling me something, but I don't see any warning on the screen. I don't know. So I wonder if that's a low battery warning below 25% or something. Although it has not given me a warning on the screen. Let's bring it in here. You can see, I mean, you know, I was trying to, it just is not still as stable as what we're used to with a DJI drone. I'm just telling you. So we're below 20% here. Yeah, now it's giving me low battery. And canceled return. And we are going to land it manually. I want to get down to about, I'd like to get down to about 15% to help condition the battery. Boy, it is, I'm telling you, the wind comes up and the drone really moves around. It sinks, it raises. Reminds me of the Zino. It's a Hubsan Zino, all right. So it could be in low battery mode that it's trying to land. It does, although it doesn't say so on screen. Picking the gimbal back up here just a little. We're at 16%. As soon as it gets to 15, I'm gonna land it. There's 15. Boy, and as soon as I say that, of course, the wind comes up. Yeah, so I don't know if, I'm sorry the camera didn't catch that, but it was moving around a lot, and as I was bringing it down, it just, you know, normally a drone goes into landing mode, and it didn't do that. You know, I held the, well, there's a lot of dust there too. I'm gonna have to clean it off when I get home. I wish I'd had my landing pad. It's awful dusty, so when I get home, I'll clean all the dust off it. I'll carefully clean it up. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna say successful first flight. Let me shut everything down and we'll do a conclusion. Yeah, I gotta tell you, this thing got really dusty messing around there. So I want to show you really quick the way to put this thing on here is to just slide it straight up. And it snaps into place. There's a cradle in there. So what I tried to do at first, there's a couple of hooks here on the front. I tried to hook those and push it on, and it won't do it. But if you just slide it straight up, it puts the gimbal right in the cradle, and you're good to go. So yeah, you can see we hit a few bugs while we were up there too. There's a few bug guts on it. Okie dokie. Finally got the Zino 2. Man, it's dusty. I'm gonna have to clean this thing off when I get home. I really kicked up some dust there. Yeah, and that's entirely my fault. I maybe even should have thrown my jacket down or something, I don't know, or tried to take off of my case, but I have my landing pad with me, but I left it in the car, and the car's off a ways, but so my mistake, but it'll clean up. I'll get it home. I'll very carefully use a little bit of air and make sure that gimbal is clean, and we'll get it all dusted off and be good as new. Anyway, so we had a little bit of an auspicious start. Now, when I did the updates and stuff, that all went fine. But you know, when we started out there, I was using the OTG cable that Hubsan provided, and I had a signal for a second, an FPV signal, and then it dropped out. Had a black screen. So we rebooted, and I used an aftermarket cable that I had, and it was just fine. So we went ahead and took off, and we had some problems with toilet bowling and controllability. So I landed it again and did a compass calibration, and that seemed to solve it. I think some of that was related to wind too, because we had wind gusts come up at different times. You know, then it seemed to fly okay, and we had a nice flight out over the canyon. I'm anxious to see what that footage looks like when I get the SD card home and load it on the computer and take a look. But it seemed okay, and so the only other thing is when I put it into sport mode, it sent the gimbal into a little bit of a tizzy, and that is common with a lot of drones in sport mode. Now, I could have swore I've seen other people in sport mode not have those kind of issues, so I don't know if it's a problem with mine or if that's just part of the drone. So for instance, like the Parrot Anafi, you put it in sport mode, that's going to throw that gimbal. Of course, it's just a 2-axis gimbal. Same thing, now that I think about it, with the DJI Spark. Anytime you put that thing in sport mode, you had problems too. So I don't know what happened there, but that's something that we'll have to mess around with and test again. Then, you know, we brought it back, and it seemed like I had a couple other little wobbles in the gimbal, and then pretty soon I brought it back in here to look at the gimbal. I wanted to see it, so I rocked it back and forth. It looked okay, and then it seemed fine. So we put it back into normal mode, went back over the canyon. I think it was good. Looked like we had a good horizon. Did an orbit, which is always one of my favorites with the Zino, and it works just exactly like it does with the original Zino, and it seemed to work fine. I can tell you this drone is fairly loud. You know, that's neither here nor there. It's probably louder than a Mavic, I would say. But boy, has it got some power. I mean, you know, when I put it in sport mode, it was moving right along. There again, that's some stuff that we'll test in the future, but you know, all in all, and then when I landed it here, I wish I had the camera pointed down so you could see. So as I brought it down, even when it started touching the ground, the drone kept moving around, and it didn't shut off the motors. So I was just holding the left stick down, which, you know, most drones that'll put it into landing mode, the original Zino will. As soon as you hold that left stick down, it'll shut off the motor. So I don't know what happened there. I probably could have hand caught it. Oh, the other thing is, looking at the downward facing sensors, you know, I waved my hand under there, and it didn't seem like it did much to the drone. It moved a little bit, but not much. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Typically, when you put your hand under those downward facing sensors, that's what tells the drone how far it is up off the ground. It tells me that probably is related to some of the instability that we saw with the drone, because it maybe isn't precisely knowing where it's at. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But it didn't seem to do much when I put my hand under those sensors. It moved a little bit, but you know, typically you would think it would shoot the drone up. I can tell you that would happen on any DJI drone that you tried that with, or other drones. So I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, we'll keep messing around with it and testing it. I'm really excited to have this little guy, and what I do know is that Hubsan has proven to us on the original Zino that they'll continue to improve and do things with this drone. So yeah, anyway, really excited and really happy to have this little guy. All right, hey, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Most of all, I really appreciate you taking the time out of the day to look at this video, and we absolutely will see you on the next one. Bye now. Fun little drone. I should say not little drone, it's a fun big drone.